Hey guys, it's Hadley here, New Zealand property buyers. So today I wanted to talk to you about something that's happening a lot in the market and tends to happen every time that we go into a bit of a flat market. So what happens is that people at the peaks, they get really excited, everyone rushes in. Then when property comes back on sale, everyone goes, "Oh, no, not for me, property doesn't work." But the issue or the reason for that is because people buy property completely differently to how they go and buy normal consumer goods. So normally you'd go in, you'd go out to buy a TV, you go and look for the best possible price you could find for a TV, and then you go in and you'd shop at that particular shop, or you'd see if you could do some price comparisons to get, the cheapest deal that you possibly could. The issue that we have with property and the market and the way people think is that when property is cheap, they tend to go, "Oh, there must be something wrong with property. It's not a good time to be in the market." And then what happens is the market starts moving, the market starts to get more confidence, and then it starts to take off. And then people start going, "Oh, property's expensive. Oh, jeepers, have you seen the property prices? Are so expensive." But the problem was they weren't willing to buy back when property was cheap. Then what happens is the market climbs, and then it gets to a peak. And just before the peak, everyone jumps in. They pay too much, they buy the wrong properties, the property market has a bit of a pullback. Then everyone goes, "Oh, property doesn't work." And so they jump back out of the market and they're buying property. So it's one of the issues that we have, or a regular conversation that we have with clients, is that when property is on sale like it is now, now's the time to go and buy that. It's time to get into the market to assess that deal. And the thing with purchasing is you've got to buy it at the time that you're looking at it when the numbers stack up in that time frame. So there's no point looking back 24 months, 5 years, and going, "Oh, well, I could buy property for 250 grand back in 2015, and today the property is worth 600 grand, and it's not worth 600 because it was worth 250 back then." You've got to look at today's numbers, today's market, and then ask yourself, does this work for today? And if it does, great. If it doesn't, don't buy it. But looking back in the past isn't going to help you move forward, because all that's going to happen is that you miss out on the $700,000 property today. In another 10 years' time, is it going to be worth $1 million? And you're in the same situation going, "Oh, if only I bought the property when it was 700." Just like today, you're saying, "Oh, if only I bought the property when it was worth 250." You've got to be in the market, and it's the time in the market that grows your wealth. And so the more that you can do earlier on in your life with the longer runway that you have, the better options that you're going to have longer term. So for me personally, I bought a property in 2022, into 2022. The market was at its peak. I think I probably bought the day before the market dropped. It was like November the 10th. And then the market pulled back on November the 11th because they had the triple CFA come out. And what that did was it put a whole lot of fear into the market. Prices dropped. People couldn't get finance. But on that day, I bought the house with all the information or the previous information that I had, and it was a good buy. And it's still a good buy because what we've done is we've renovated it and then we've revalued it, and we've been able to pull our money back out that we initially put back into the property. So, regardless of what the market's done, we carried on, we bought, and the assets growing over time because we've been able to force the appreciation and make the money go, make the value go up, as opposed to, "Oh, I think it's getting a bit shaky. We've missed out." We would have left a couple of $100,000 on the table in 2022 if we hadn't taken that chance. Now, you could have said, "Well, if you waited another 6 months and bought the same property, then you would have been $300,000 better off." But at the end of the day, there's no crystal ball to find out what that next move's going to be or what the market's actually going to do. So really important that you buy the property on today's numbers. You look at it on face value. This is what the rent is. This is what I think it's going to be worth once I increase the value through renovations or whatever else it is that you're going to do. I'm going to also increase value through a subdivision or something else that's going to happen at a later point. And that's the box that you have to make your decision on, rather than hypotheticals that may or may not ever happen in the future. And then you can deal with the decisions that you've made as you've gone forward. But at least you're in the market and you've made the most informed decision that you possibly can at the time. So, quick 3 takeaways from that. You've just got to assess the deals on today's economy, today's scope. You've got to make sure that there's some upside for you. So if the market does come back, you've got something that you can do to force that value. And gazing at crystal balls and hoping that things go up in value isn't a strategy at all. You've got to have a clear path as to where you're going to go and what you want to achieve through things.